Hello, everybody, and welcome to this. We need to do some converting here. This is eventually going to end up being our first episode of Hearts of Iron, but we're going to do some converting here, and there's going to be some game swaps going on, and there'll be some cuts in the video here. It'll be fine. We're just going to go through this real quick, and I'll show most of this process, but I'm going to cut out the lengthy portions. I'm hoping to have this done pretty quickly here. So we're going to leave this almost all normal. Turn colonial nations into territories. Let's do sometimes by attitude, actually. I don't know how many of these are actually going to be happy with us. I think a lot of them were pretty upset by the end of the game, but that'll be fine. If sometimes from the previous question, when exactly? We'll absorb loyal only. That'll be fine. Otherwise, I'm not sure what they'll be, like puppets or something. Or actually, yeah, it looks like they'll be puppets. So that'll be fine. As far as our population being shaped to EU4 advances, I think we'll leave this at default. I'm not too familiar with how this is going to work. By the way, I would like to point out, we are converting this to Victoria 2. The Victoria 3 converter looks like it's not complete at this point. So we will be converting this over to Victoria 2. Things will be maybe a little weird, but it'll be fine. Auto-assign national cores. Unification was pretty nigh. Honestly, we were pretty cored up as it was, so I think that's fine. Making the world Eurocentric, we're going to not use EU4 institutions. It's strongly recommending that we go with its imperialism time. So we'll go ahead and do that. Wiping sub-Saharan Africa, we actually don't want to do that, I don't think. It is recommended that we do free real estate here, but I think that we don't want to do this because we did quite a bit in sub-Saharan Africa. So we'll avoid that for the moment. As far as randomizing RGOs, we'll just leave that at its default. Most of this we are going to leave at its default. Nobility and merchants, religious and cultural conversion, vehemently recommend. Okay, sure. So we'll go ahead and do that. We're not making a hybrid mod, and we will call this the... I'm actually just going to abbreviate this a little bit. It'll be a little awkward. But the BO Vic 2. Okay. BoVic 2. Perfect. And let's go ahead and go in here, and hopefully we don't run into any issues. And I'm going to cut out the actual conversion portion here, and we will be back to this as soon as it has been completed. See you guys in a bit. Okay, and we are back here. It's 109% complete, which is always great. It looks like we had some warnings for some culture issues. It just defaulted back to regular cultures. I think that's okay. No major issues there. So we are completely fine here. We can now fire up Victoria 2, and we can see in the launcher here, this very dated launcher, that the mod file is now appearing here. Perfect. So we'll go ahead and launch Victoria 2, and I will be back once again once we have that game loaded up, because we're going to need to create a save game for Victoria 2. See you guys in a bit. It moved my pause button mouse. Okay, let's get back. No, stop it. Okay, I apologize for blasting you out a little bit ago, just a moment ago. The audio settings in Victoria 2 appear to have reset on us, so let me just hop into Victoria here. There we go. Victoria 2 is a little bit awkward, no doubt about it. Text is going to be very small up here. There's a reason we're skipping Victoria 2. And Victoria 3, the timing just didn't work out. So I did have to make a slight alteration to the mod, and I'll show you the exact alteration that I made after we're done with this portion of it, just because it'll be a little bit easier to do it that way. But I did have to set us, if you look up in this corner, this tiny text here, we're 1 day back. 31 December 1935. It was breaking on 1 January 1936. So we will go ahead and hit the play button here, and we'll load this on in, and then all we're going to do, yeah, game over instantly. All we're going to do here is, I want to make a save here. Oh, okay. Maybe I have to move the timing back a little bit, since it just instantly ends there. Okay, I'm going to do that. Give me 1 second. Okay, and here we are. I properly changed the end date of the game to be 1 day later. So if we were to tick forward a day here, which we will do, the game will end. But here we are in Victoria 2, and we can see we control some things. This is all imported correctly, but it looks weird in Victoria 2. I'm not going to lie. So all we're going to do here is we're going to hit escape. We're going to save the game right here. Boom. Then, if we tick forward 1 day, the game will end. So let's tick forward a day. Yeah, welcome to Victoria 2. Sure. And the game is over. Beautiful. So we will then quit here. All we wanted was to make that save. So let's just exit the game here. And I think this is going to take it back to the main menu. But let's full on exit Victoria 2. There we go. And let me switch this back to display capture here so you can actually see something. And I'll show you the changes that I made to make this actually work. So this here was set to 1936 1.1. This was set to 1836 1.1. I set this back 1 day. I set this forward 100 years. Then in the defines.lua, and I'll show you where both of these files are found, I changed the end date from 1936 1.1 to 1936 1.2. So those are found in here. This is in the mod folder. So if we go up here, we can see that the mod folder is here. I go in here, go to common, and then this bookmarks is bookmarks.txt right here, and defines.lua right here. Fantastic. So that is now all converted on over, and we can start converting to Hearts of Iron. So let me get that all set up, and I will be back in just a moment. Okay, and here we are with the converter set up for Hearts of Iron. This is definitely a updated converter front end, no doubt about that. So this should all be good to go. Completely should be fine, in theory. And let's make sure that our mod is included here. That is, of course, our Bovic 2 mod. And then these are the options. I'm just going to leave this exactly as default, but I'm going to call this the Bohoi 4. Perfect. Bohoi 4. Okay, now we'll hit convert, and in theory, this should just work. Let's find out. Once again, I'm going to pause here because this conversion can take a little while, and we'll be back once it's done. And here we are. It looks like it has successfully completed. There are a few things that are probably going to be a little weird, but that's to be expected. So let's go ahead and fire up Hearts of Iron here. This is the current version of the game. The most recent version, so that is absolutely fine. We're going to need to switch our mods here. So this is going to be Bohoi 4 that we're going to want to enable. So I think that we need to create a new playset here. Yeah, so we're going to create a new playset. This is going to be Bohoi 4. Fantastic. And we're going to add in the Bohoi 4 conversion. Fantastic. Not going to run any of these others, but there we go. We'll add that to our playset. Do we need to add in the converter mod? I don't think so. I don't think we have to do that. We can come back and do that if there are issues. But let's go ahead and fire up Hearts of Iron 4 here. And that should be absolutely great. It should be set up correctly. And I will once again pause this, and we'll be back once it's loaded on up. And here we are at the front page of Hearts of Iron 4. I guess I should call it the main menu. Let's just go ahead and dive straight into single player. We are not going to be continuing this Ethiopia save game. That's exciting. Let's just start a new game, 1 January 1936. That is, of course, the day that we left off. This is all going to be awkward. Let's select country. Did it not load up the mod? It may have not loaded up the mod. This is the default game. Okay, I will be back in a moment. Okay, we can try this again. I never changed the playset off of vanilla. Oh, there we go. OBS finally decided to hook into it. Fantastic. So yeah, I never changed the playset. That was entirely my own fault. We're going to start a new game. This is looking much better. Much better. None of these should technically exist, but we'll just do a select country. Oh yeah. Okay, so we can see that there's some awkwardness over here. A lot of these should be our puppets. There's some awkwardness in here too, where we're probably going to have to reconquer some sections of Africa. Remember, we had all of Africa under our control, but that's not a problem. And there's some stuff up here that was, like, these are all just the inaccessible areas in Europa, so that's fine. Nova Scotia, Armenia controls this directly. Yeah, this should be fine. Historical AI focuses. Perfect. What could possibly go wrong? There should be no history here, basically. So let's just go ahead and start this. This is looking basically correct. Reconquering portions of Africa is not a problem. We are absolutist. Cool. We could even crank up the difficulty if we really wanted to. Not that I expect this to really do too much. I think I'll just leave it on regular. I don't really like having those bonuses and malices like this. I don't like it being implemented this way, the difficulty. I'll just leave it on regular. It's fine. And let's go ahead and start this. So we're going to be playing as Armenia. And we're going to have just armies everywhere, I think. Well, I don't know. It depends on how it imported all of that. It'll be weird. It'll be weird. Okay. So, oh, hello. There we go. Cool. So, we're going to have a lot of unassigned divisions. 242 of them, to be precise. Okay, so this is how it was implemented. We have 9.6 million manpower. How much are we earning per month? 13.74k. That's actually broadly comparable to what we were earning in Europa, I think. Okay, good job, converter. So, of course, we are Armenia instead of the Bizarro Ottomans. Can we rename ourselves? I don't think we can in Hearts of Iron. So, that's fine. We are going to have to go after taking back Africa. And I think that's going to be our first focus here. But I do want to have an army group up over this way. An army group down here. And then we'll think about doing things out over this direction. I mean, there's going to be some awkwardness, like Japan holds Midway Island. There's going to be some awkwardness over here with Tidor, who is no longer revolutionary Tidor. Okay, that's exciting. And these guys exist as Siam. Yep, that's fine. Cambodia exists, and Vietnam is a little bit awkward for us, but overall, I think it'll be fine. I think it'll be fine. So let's immediately go in here. This is a lot of division types. Honestly, we're probably not going to need to min-max our divisions too much. Okay. So first things first, I want to select like 24 of these. So let's go ahead and assign this to an army. Let's assign all of these to a single army for the moment. Then we can select half of them. This is all into what? An army group? Did I put that into an army group? I think I did. Let's break that out of the army group. There we go. Divide that in half, and let's assign that to a new army. Let's do that again. And then again. Because we need to get this down to around 24 per, right? So that's 15, obviously. That's 16. I want it to just be less than 24 for the time being. So that's 30, 15. And select half of these. Are these all infantry? I think they're literally all infantry, which is interesting. We had some cavalry, which I would have expected to import as such. But yeah, this is literally all infantry. Okay, noted. So we're just going to continue working on getting this split up. There we go. We'll split this. We're definitely not going to need infantry for a while. So this is fine. I think leaving these on 15 and 16 for the moment is okay. Let's go ahead and continue to divide these. And one more. There we go. So we're going to need to get these aligned. Can we declare wars? We can justify. So we should definitely do that. We should start justifications on like everything, but we need political power to do that. So we're going to have to tick forward a little bit for sure. We're going to be the primary drivers of this. So I do want to move some of these infantry brigades. I want to have 16 units of infantry in each of these. I wanted to move them from here, not just move the same one repeatedly. That would help. Okay, let's get all of these. I don't want to move all of them. I want to move just one. If I can click, there we go. We'll move this out over here, and I just want to have 16 infantry brigades in each of these. Cool. Will this be correct? Or close to it? It'll be close. Okay. So we'll do that, and I'm actually going to disband these two. That'll return to the manpower pool. That'll be fine. Okay, cool. So now I'd like to come in here and delete all of the templates that we can from this list. Now, we can't do that because some of these are using these templates. The division and the brigade are the same. And cavalry is being used as a garrison template. Okay, noted. So, for our infantry divisions, I think this is fine for now. I'm not going to change that around too much. The infantry brigades, I mean, this is probably too big, but I'm not too concerned about our manpower. I think I'm just going to make these the same. Can we conform all of these that are currently here into the brigade? Probably, but for now, all I'm going to do is I'm going to... Oh, we don't actually have the ability to do this either. Right. Because we're lacking the army experience for right now. Fair enough. So we're going to start dividing this into army groups. So 5 into this army group. 5 into this army group. And 5 into this army group. So we have 3 army groups. That seems reasonably ideal. I'm not too concerned about everything going on over here, although we will look to get this out of the way beforehand if we can. Looking at Ming, Ming has Ming Siberia as a colony. But these guys, they're granting military access, but Ming would not actually currently defend them. Noted. So first things first, we're going to put in a commander here. Do we not have any commanders? Apparently we don't start with any commanders. That's interesting. I wonder if we'll get some when we tick forward. So for the time being, let's just put these guys in a front line around Ming. That did not extend over here because of this impassable area. Noted. For now, that's okay. We'll put these guys up over here. And we can adjust that if we feel like we need to. But for the time being, I think that's fine. I would like to come down over this direction. I want to see... Let's see. This is all impassable here. So we can't get in here. We can attack Moreland, and we can attack over here as well. So we're going to start splitting these guys up a bit. We're going to put a few here. Well, one army. We're going to put an army here. Or actually, not there. What am I doing? This is... Well, this is our territory here. So that is actually viable. Yeah, go ahead and do that. We can put another army up over here in theory. And this is inaccessible. So we can't get there. Noted. This is also inaccessible in an awkward sort of fashion. Yeah, we can't get to any of that at this moment. So eventually that should flip over to us in theory, I think. And then we'll need an army down over this direction. Cool. And an army also over... Well, this is all inaccessible. Yeah, nothing over there. But we can work down over here. And so we shall. And that's all we can do for now. Now, we're going to want to definitely be training some units here. I want to go into here. I want to go into the division designer. I want to create... Let's see. We don't have access to any tanks right now. Noted. So obviously we need to work on our research slots, right? That's definitely a thing that we need. First things first, I want to certainly be grabbing electronic mechanical engineering. We'll get that underway. The next thing I want to do is probably basic machine tools. I want to start work on some tanks. And I would also like to work on, I feel like some artillery would be good. So something kind of like this. Now we have no divisions in basic training. That's understood. For the time being, I'm just going to train 2 divisions of infantry. And we will have those pop out like in our capital, whatever. Or adjacent to our capital anyway. So we're going to have to think about logistics and upgrades like constructions. That's definitely a thing. How many civilian factories do we have? Actually, very few. We should build, like, a lot of civilian factories. Because it's going to be a little bit before we can go to war here. So, to be honest, we should just go around queuing maximum numbers of civilian factories. We can convert them later if we need to. Our number of military factories is going to be fairly low, but for the time being, I think that just a single pass of civilian factories around here is going to take us time before we can go to war. And this should be fine. Just a lot of civilian factories. Because this will allow us to construct really, really fast. And honestly, this first pass of civilian factories, this should be sufficient. I don't think we're going to need more civilian factories than this. This will be already a silly amount of civilian factories, right? So I'm not too concerned about that. Let's just get these all queued up. I wish there was a faster way to do this. But alas, as far as I'm aware, there is not. But we can get Europe done pretty quickly here, in theory. And after we get Europe done, it should be much faster in other locations. We're not going to be building these in locations where our puppets are. Although we should check in on that diplomatic status eventually. Okay. So we're going to start getting into the areas where they build much faster out over here. As in, there's more space that each state takes up. So that'll be fine. And we'll just get this all cleaned up. Beautiful. So that goes nice and quick, of course. And then we're starting to get down to this territory over here. That's all in a foreign territory. No worries there for the moment. And then India will be a little bit more dense, but that's fine. Cool. So this is going to be like an exponential acceleration. Every factory that we build is going to increase our build speed on factories. We're also going to want to improve infrastructure and help our resource extraction. That'll be reasonably major. But getting these civilian factories done will be a big deal right off the bat. And as soon as we start generating enough political power, we will start fabricating in Africa. I want to get that out of the way fairly quickly. So that should be fine. And that, of course, is Europe complete. There will be a few of these little islands out here, and I may miss some of those. That's not the biggest of deals if I do. And let's see here. Some of these are not our territory. But that's okay. And realistically, we might want to recruit somewhat heavily and put those into a Coast Guard. The Coast Guards are going to be huge. Like, we have a lot of coast to guard. I'm not too concerned about any other constructions right now, other than getting these civilian factories done so that our economy can just really start progressing. That is the current goal on that front. So coming down over this way, we can definitely work on our holdings out over here. Excellent. So that's all looking very good. We do have a number of holdings out over here, of course. Some of these are not held by us. Like, some of this is held by Armenia and Australia. But to be honest, that's still probably okay. Yeah, that's considered a foreign territory, but that's fine. I'm not going to be too concerned about building everything down here. That's Armenian and Australian? Okay, noted. And let's get that constructing and this constructing. Cool. Everything out over here as well. They don't add too much, but they will add something. This is going to be a lot of factories to construct, but we're also going to need time. So up here in Japan, this will all be fine as well. That's not considered our territory, so that's okay. Up in Alaska, we've got a little bit, and then this down here is not ours. So that's fine. These should... Actually, Greenland is ours. This up here should all be... Hello, console. This, with the possible exception of, like, these guys, this should pretty much all be our puppets. Well, actually, let's look at the factions. Are they in our faction? No, actually. What is their relation to us then? We have military access and grant them military access. Maybe once we tick, some of these things will properly change. Maybe they're coded as an event. So as far as our national focus goes, I would definitely like to go into the industrial effort. And let's go ahead and tick forward 1 day tick here. Interesting. So I do believe that we're going to have to either conquer them or bring them into our faction. Okay. It's something we can do. That will definitely mean that our Hearts of Iron series will be a little bit more extensive than I was expecting. But I think that's completely okay. And with that, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we will begin solidifying our grasp. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including, if I can get tabbed out here, Casserole, ALS Gamer, Kentuin, James, Shadowwolf, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Video Games Are Not Real, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Unisil, Kadra, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video. And as always, I will see you all next time.